go. We be fast and they be slow.
Hi everyone, this is Tim on the Line Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk. Tim wanted to do a second video today because there was a lot going on at training camp. There was the big fight. There was another day of Daniel Jones looking terrible. There was another injury reported. The Giants, it's funny. Someone said to me that, you notice that all these injuries really started occurring when Daniel Jones showed up. That it's the injury curse of Daniel Jones. And we're going to call it the Jones curse in reference to all these injuries. One of our tight ends, another tight end is out right now. Andre Miller, the Maine alum, suffered a broken wrist. He will undergo surgery later today, and then they will decide what their time frame, their timetable is going to be from him. He's looked good. He's looked impressive in camp. He's had some moments, and he was one of those guys that I thought had an interesting opportunity to make this team, if not definitely be on the practice squad. It's interesting, you hope now that Bellinger and Ricky Jones-Seals Jr. and everyone else starts to step up, because you know what? We're not dropping like flies yet, but it's one of those things that you have to keep an eye on these injuries. You got to keep. The Giants have a lack of depth at multiple positions, so any injury it could be catastrophic to this team in regards to not only depth but quality starter talent. So anything like this, we do have to keep an eye on. But like I said, I believe there is enough talent to overcome this within the tight end room, and we wish Mr. Miller luck coming back. Probably he's not going to come back till next season. So hopefully, he can get this taken care of, healed up, come back next season, and show us his wares. There was the big fight today. There's evidently, I think there was 4 consecutive plays that really kind of led up to this fight. One of them was Saquon Barkley lowered his shoulders and basically laid into Aaron Robinson. And the defense, I guess, didn't like it, especially Tate Crowder. Tate Crowder needs to worry about making this team not starting fights. Then center John Feliciano came and grabbed Crowder by the head, I guess 3 plays later, pulled him down and tried to knee him in the face. It was all WWE stuff. I don't say WWE. And you know what? I'll say it right. It's WWF stuff. It's a Worldwide Wrestling Federation. Didn't like that. That's me just adjusting my knee brace. Then you had another. It's just one of those things. It's then offensive line coach Bobby Johnson got into it. He pushed Cam Brown. Then Feliciano sucker punched Brown. Then it was more of a mayhem. There was more. I'm going to say this right now. The fans love training camp fights. They do. They think it's their team getting fired up and getting ready for some football. No, training camp fights are some of the stupidest. Anyone who has played competitively will tell you, training camp fights are stupid. Bill Parcells used to use them in the regular season to fire people up. He would use Lawrence Taylor in that regards a lot of ways, but nothing ever comes good out of these fights. Sometimes you have a built-up animosity between your teams, between your defense and your offense. You have the risk of injury. You have they just don't. And I've been on the bottom of these scrums. They're just no good. It doesn't build up continuity and camaraderie. It's just a way to get yourself injured. I keep thinking of Rocky IV when Tommy the Gun punches Paulie. And George Washington Carver grabs him and says, "What good are you if you break your hand on this bum? What good are you if you get..." And there's been multitudes of occasions, especially in the NFL, where there have been issues and there have been injuries in regards to training camp fights. So the fans may like them. The fans may get fired up about it, but it is what it is. Daniel Jones has been this person. Daniel Jones has been getting attacked all over the last 6-7 hours. I saw some things I saw 2 shows that James Williams sent me from ESPN, basically saying that Daniel Jones isn't the guy. Daniel Jones is this. He's had 4 years. You know what? It's like kicking a dog. It's like kicking a dog. It's like kicking a stray dog. Why would you do that? Why would you kick somebody when they're down? He's got enough problems trying to figure out, and then he has another bad day. He has another bad day. Multitudes of interceptions, multitudes of sacks. There was one play where Daniel Jones got sacked by Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams, but he really didn't get sacked, of course, because there was no contact. But he finished the play with an overthrow to Colin Johnson that went for an interception with Adoree Jackson. He had a couple more interceptions. Kayvon Thibodeau got in the act with back-to-back would-be sacks off of Jones off the left side. I mean, Jones has been erratic. Jones has just been, it is what it is. We're just getting to that point. But the interesting thing is Tyrod Taylor took some snaps with the first team O-line for the first time this camp. And Dable seemed to be conferring with Jones. Then Jones came back and replaced Tyrod Taylor. So he was probably just trying to help him out, build his confidence a little bit. But it is interesting that we finally got some first team reps in there for our old buddy, the OG QB. We gotta just wait and see what happens. We gotta see what happens on Thursday, and we gotta kind of go from there. I got my fingers crossed that we see something from Daniel Jones from Thursday, because I'm gonna tell you right now, if it's a bad preseason game from this kid, he's not even a kid anymore. He's a vet. But if it's a bad preseason game, you gotta start thinking. You gotta start looking. You gotta start building your contingency and your backup plan. I don't know what it is, but we got to kind of figure it out. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue. We'll bring you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could like, you can subscribe. If you can ring that bell, you know what it means. That'd be awesome.